Around 2016, the idea is that the internet has become more bots than people.
Oh.
So when you make a post and you're like, I don't like waffles, all of the responses are automated bots who are trying to sell a product or convince you of something to control your opinion.
Yeah.
Let's pause and go back to the late 2000s, early 2010s with the anonymous hacker collective and Lulzsac.
So Tim Pool calls out David Pakman over fake followers. As you all know, Dave Pakman, along with many other leftists out there who predicted that Kamala would beat Trump in the presidential election, we're going to win based on like the polls and everything, as well as polling graphs and charts and stuff. And come to find out, they were simply wrong. Okay, and when they were wrong, that's when they started losing a lot of subscribers to different platforms. So Tim Pool absolutely obliterates, leftist dreamers like Dave Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen, who lost a lot of followers on YouTube. But what he's really talking about is like the dead internet theory that the machine has stopped funding the bots that were propping up for these channels in the first place. Not necessarily the person themselves, but the bots out of the machine that was funding the bots and stuff that had stopped funding them because Trump won. So there's just no point now. So now they're just seeing a lot of followers leave, and now they're just also losing a lot of followers on Twitter and other platforms. And they are trying to say, oh, well, they moved over to another website, but it's actually no one buys that for a second and stuff because they've actually left leaning Twitter before for threads and stuff, right when Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned into X. So we're going to go ahead and get into this discussion with Tim Pool panel as they talk about David Pakman.
Is the dead internet theory suddenly coming true? Here's my proposal to you guys. One of the reasons perhaps we are seeing the left lose so many viewers and subscribers and why these channels are losing ratings, could it be that dead internet theory was true and that it was a mechanism by corporations and governments to prop up far left ideologies to create the perception that they were popular? Let me pause first and explain what this is. You guys familiar with that internet theory?
Sounds something similar to what
Gist.
Brian was saying earlier.
Around 2016, the idea is that the internet has become more bots than people.
Oh.
So when you make a post and you're like, I don't like waffles, all of the responses are automated bots who are trying to sell a product or convince you of something to control your opinion.
Yeah.
Let's pause and go back to the late 2000s, early 2010s with the anonymous hacker collective and Lulzsac and groups like this. We discovered through the work of Barrett Brown and Project PM and some hackers who exfiltrated data that the U.S. Air Force was creating sock puppet social media accounts to be sold. They create them. They have a single individual operate 50 accounts to control public opinion.
Yeah.
Assumptions were that in Libya, one of the favorite points brought up by activists during the time of the Libyan revolution/civil war was there sure are a lot of Libyans that speak English and around American social media, but you'd see these Libyans saying, we must stop Gaddafi, freedom. And the Americans would be like retweeting it like, wow, look at this. And it was generating public support in the United States for NATO to go in and do airstrikes, no-fly zones, whatever. Hillary Clinton then says, we came, we saw, he died. Mm-hmm. If dead internet theory is true and corporations and governments are largely controlling bot accounts, what you'll end up seeing is a couple things. The first, when Elon Musk bought X, what did we see? When it was announced he was going to buy X, leftists lost tons of followers. Conservatives gained tons of followers. How does that make sense? Well, some speculated that it was because there was a thumb on the button, that Twitter at the time was propping up left-wing channels and holding back right-wing channels. Could it be that bots were largely being operated to prop up these left-wing channels to make it look like they were more prominent than they really were? Well, following Elon's takeover, users started complaining they weren't getting the same views and clicks anymore. Why is my engagement so down? I mean, for me, it was kind of like every tweet I put out have thousands. Now it's like sometimes they have 1,000, sometimes a few hundred. Well, when you get rid of bots, which is what Elon's whole plan was, your engagement will go down. Your engagement was fake the whole time. But people can't tell the difference. They see 10,000 likes, they feel good. They see 1,000 likes, they feel bad, even if they aren't real. Following the election, David Pakman says, Brian Tyler Cohen, all these liberals are losing followers. They're losing subscribers. Now we're hearing that the left, these liberals, are bleeding followers on X like crazy. And perhaps because they're all fleeing to blue sky. That makes no sense.
Rage quit.
I don't believe it for a second. Because didn't they already flee to Threads? Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that? They already fled to Threads. How are they now fleeing again?
I remember all of that going down because of the fact that when it was revealed that a lot of Democrat or left-leaning like celebrities, politicians, and influencers and stuff had like a shortage in follower accounts. That was when it's revealed that those were fake. They were bots and stuff of old profiles or probably purchased and stuff in the past to be used. I mean, a lot of companies does the same thing, like this, especially Disney. Okay, and the simple fact of the matter is that when this is done and stuff, a lot of people will see what's actually happening here, especially when it's reported through the media. And then fast forward to the recent elections of this year, we see that, you know, David Pakman and others were wrong about the election because of the fact that a lot of people left their platforms and stuff and unsubscribed to them. So most likely these were like people propped up by these different left-leaning companies and stuff. We had bots and stuff to follow and automatically like their posts and stuff. So that way the engagement will actually have people to think that, you know, they're actually the tide is turning and stuff. And this is how a lot of people in the country feels and stuff. And in reality, this is only a small percentage of the population that's this way. They have these kind of leanings that agree with these different influencers. So if you enjoy what's being said in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, share the video far across social media. And if you haven't done so already, doing all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications. So that way you're notified future uploads and updates.
Doesn't quite make sense unless dead internet theory is correct. Following the election of Donald Trump, the machines that were propping up these bots turned off. The accounts deactivate, the money stops flowing, no one's paying these people to run sock puppets anymore, so they all just shut it down, and then we see the left burn a bunch of followers.
They would be shutting them down way before he gets into office and torching all evidence that they existed.
They have to wait until the election because what if he wins?
I mean, before inauguration is what I meant. They're doing it before inauguration.
Right. So the reason why it happens immediately after the election makes perfect sense. If they're running these bot accounts, one person running 50 followers to make it look like a liberal's got a big following and making lots of money, how is this one guy getting 1 million views per video? They're not going to shut it down before the election in case Kamala wins. If Trump wins, who's going to pay the bills? Hillary Clinton cut a bunch of deals. You know, what was it? The Clinton Global Initiative and Foundation shuttered as soon as she lost the election, and the donations stopped coming in because we know what the point of that was. So if you are being paid to run 500 sock puppet accounts to comment, to post, to view videos, and they've got a team of 10 running, you know, 300,000 clicks for these videos, once the election's done, you're like, okay, the contract is up. We're done paying this. All of a sudden, the views drop, the subscribers drop, cancellations hit. Perhaps. I'm not saying I know for sure.
Yeah, there's also a third option. Well, first of all, there's two types of these accounts. One is hired guns, right? And the other one is private, like just some kid in Malaysia, you know, trying to do whatever he wants to do, right? So the private guy doesn't necessarily turn his bots off. He just changes course.
Right.
So he goes, I was shilling for the left. That was the thing to do. Now it's like all these bots now shill for the right.
Here's another component to that. A lot of bots that operate on X and other platforms do it to create the image of that they're real. So one of the first things bots will do is they'll follow prominent social media accounts so that if somebody investigates, they see what looks like a normal user following Brad Pitt and Rachel Maddow. Could it be perhaps then that a lot of the followers were passively following what was assumed to be prominent mainstream voices, CNN, liberal commentators who get lots of views, because it made the bots look legitimate. And then once the popular vote swung, the bots just jumped over to right-wing personalities because they are viewed as more legitimate.
Correct.
I hope that's not really happening right there, because if that's true, if Tim Pool and others are discussing these things about this, then Elon Musk will need to go ahead and get back into sifting out all the bots and removing them from the platform itself. And I'm hoping that, you know, Tim Pool is like incorrect about this. I'm not saying that he's saying that, you know, if there's bots on left-leaning influencers and celebrities and politicians, you know, accounts, but if that's true, then we're going to have a serious problem with the platform. And, you know, it's like, it seems to me that the mission that Elon Musk was set out to fail, had set out to complete, actually failed. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have with this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I said in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, and share the video for our social media. And if you haven't done so already, enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. To them, peace.